and welcome to the Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. I'm super excited because I've been wanting this to happen for a minute now. I have the A&R Manager for Sony ATV South Africa, Munya Chanetsa, in the Sanctuary today. The man of the industry himself. Actually, wait, master of the industry himself. Thank you so much for coming to the Sanctuary.
No, it's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. And just to correct you, I'm A&R Manager for the continent, not just South Africa.
Oh so my God, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
We're dealing with the continent here, not just SA. I'm continental.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all good, my brother. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. So, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
No, man. Thank you so much. I've been trying to do this for a minute, but like you've been busy. You know, it's funny because like the COVID happened, things shut down, but you became even more busy doing that. Like, what was going on?
So I think the thing with COVID and within the area that I work, which is publishing. So Sony Music. So it's actually even recently there was a big rebrand a few weeks ago where Sony has now dropped ATV. So it's no longer Sony ATV. It's now just Sony Music Publishing. And the thing with publishing is that publishing within the music space deals with copyright of music. So I think when COVID happened and people started seeing that, let's say, performances weren't as much, they had to look for new revenues. And that's when I think a lot of people started understanding the importance of having your publishing in order and receiving those publishing checks. So that's why I started getting busy on the Sony side. And then also in my personal capacity, I just said, with the way things were happening, things just are so uncertain that I just said, Munya, the time is now just to do whatever you need to do. Just do it now. So that's why in my personal capacity as well, I've been busy as well. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's go back just a tiny little bit, right? Before Sony, what are some of the things you did that led you to Sony? Because from my digging, I found out they actually headhunted you and not the other way around. So what were some of the things you did right that made Sony say, okay, we need this person?
Okay, so I think let me start at the beginning of my journey then within the music space. I think it will help give better context. My first taste of music industry was in 2007. That's when I think I got my first taste of the industry when I was based in Cape Town in South Africa. I'm currently in Johannesburg now, but when I was in Cape Town, fresh out of uni, the hustle, trying to find a job, and I was so fortunate and blessed to have secured a job at a company called a record label called Putumayo World Music. So they are a New York-based record label, and they deal with a lot of compilation albums. So that was my first taste, and I was doing marketing and promotions there. And that's when I got, my first taste of music industry stuff. And then from there, an opportunity opened in Johannesburg a few years later at a company called Content Connect Africa. And this is where I would say my career really did. It took more shape there. And I mean, again, it's just I can never say that I planned a lot of these things. I can't even say that. But that's why I say it's God and I've just followed music. As music has taken me, I've just followed. So I'm so grateful for that. And so I joined Content Connect Africa again as marketing. And Content Connect Africa is a company, they do digital distribution. They're an aggregator. So basically, if you're an artist and you want to make your music available on digital platforms, you can go to Content Connect Africa, you have a deal with them, they distribute onto various different platforms. But the one thing about Content Connect Africa is that they also deal a lot with caller tunes, caller ringback tones, and
that thing is big in South Africa, man.
In Africa, that's why I say, sometimes you forget. No, let me tell you, in Africa, caller tunes is one of the most downloaded formats. It's just that, the problem is all of us, we talk, and we all think we have smartphones, but we need to remember that majority of the continent still don't deal with smartphones. They deal with dumb phones or feature phones. That's the majority. We're still a minority. So all of us have these smartphones. But so a caller tune is a very powerful way of those who don't have smartphones or those who don't have phones that are enabled to go online to also express themselves. Where you can do it
remember,
anymore.
like, I was in Cape Town sorry, I was in
Uh-huh.
Cape Town for a while, and I remember every year, DJ Cleo would win like the most downloads every
Yes.
year,
And
constantly.
we were distributing his caller tune. We were part of the team that were handling DJ Cleo, where you would win it the summers
Okay.
back to back to back. Hey,
Yes, yes, yes.
uh-huh.
Like it's like there's no need for you to even try to figure out who's gonna win. Is DJ
You
Cleo?
knew. And that was we were the team that was working with him during that whole period when it
Okay.
came to the caller tunes. Yes, at
Yep.
Content Connect. So yeah, so initially the company, I mean, whilst I was there, I think my position, I definitely grew within the company. I mean, I started off just marketing promotions, and then I think I headed up the marketing team, and then from there I started doing A&R, and then eventually now when the company was expanding and wanted to go into other territories, I was there with the team spearheading, opening up offices in territories like in Uganda. There was a branch in Uganda. There's an office in Nigeria. There's offices in Ghana. I think now they just recently sorted out Angola as well. So, and I think through my travels, the one thing which again, that's why I keep saying it's a blessing, is that I met, I was led to the right people. When in this industry, there's a lot of talkers. There's a lot of people who will promise you the world, and then when it's time to deliver, it's ghost. So, one of the things that hey, that this industry is tough, but I've always
Yeah,
been led
yeah,
to the right people who've always just wanted the best for to just who deliver basically. So I think that also
yeah.
rubbed off on my reputation in the industry, because now if it's all about delivery at the end of the day. If working with integrity, if
Mm,
you say you're going to do something, do something. If you can't, you can't. Simple as
yeah,
that. And I try to not.
yeah.
I really do try and keep those lines in place where I don't do those things. But anyway, so from Content Connect Africa, then I mean we opened up here in Nigeria and all these places, and then I think I spent close to a decade at Content Connect Africa, and that's when I
Wow.
got approached by a CMO, a collection management organization called Capasso. Capasso is the Composers, Authors, and Publishers Association of South Africa. So I was invited to head up
Oh.
there. I was invited to head up the licensing department there. So basically, Capasso, in the name, is one of the CMOs in South Africa who are responsible for the collection and the distribution of what we call the mechanical royalty, and that is the
Mm,
royalty that is due to songwriters and producers. So yes, I worked there for I think almost 2 years, and I mean and that was a real wake up call for me, because after I was at Content Connect
mm.
Africa, I was very confident I understood the industry. I thought I knew everything. I actually felt you can't tell me anything until I joined Capasso, and I found out there's this whole
Yeah,
thing called copyright, and there's this whole thing called
yeah.
publishing. And I mean, I was very
Mm,
lucky and fortunate, again, blessed that at Capasso they covered the cost for me to go to school. I went to this school. There's a school called the Academy of Sound Engineering here in Johannesburg, and I did a masterclass in
yeah.
music business. And I mean, there were certain things I already knew, so it was just touching up on some knowledge I knew. But when it came to copyright and that
Mm,
area, that was just fascinating to me. And that's when I was like, if Munya Chanetsa, I've been in the industry for 10 years now, and I don't even understand. I remember thinking, what chance
mm,
does someone who wants to even enter the space have? So I think that's when
mm-hmm,
things started cooking in my head with regards to now. I
mm,
think Moti and I've always seen myself as a man of the industry, and that's how Moti actually started. I used to call myself man of the
mm,
industry, where if you at any point at any stage in your career, if you need assistance, I'm happy to be that guy, the man of the industry who can help guide you
mm,
and place. So that's how that started. And as
mm.
time went by, um, and that's when I got a call now from, I think, yeah, close to 2 years passed, and then I got a call from Sony Music Publishing. And the thing, what I think is they wanted to open up a new division, because Sony Music Publishing never had an A&R division. And so people also need to understand the difference between Sony Music Entertainment, which is the record side, and then there's Sony Music Publishing. There's two different entities, and because and the record label, Sony Music Entertainment, they deal with the performing artists, the artists that we see on
Mm,
TV, we hear on radio. Now, at Sony Music Publishing, we deal with songwriters and producers. So that's the job of a
mm,
publisher. A publisher has that. That's the job of a publisher. That's how I guess. I think because and so yes, they wanted to open up an A&R division, and they wanted me to head it up. I think with
Mm,
the networks I have, my experience in the industry, the knowledge that I gained when I was at Capasso, it did give me very unique a unique skill set. Let me say,
mm,
which is appealing to them. So yeah, so that's the journey in a
mm.
nutshell.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, like, just reading up on things you've done, and like, actually, you mentioned Capasso. I'm gonna
Hmm.
leapfrog a little bit,
Hmm.
and I found out just the other day that there's this TikTok deal with
Correct.
South African artists. You want to
So
talk a
I
bit more
was
about
there,
that?
absolutely. So the funny thing, so I was still at Capasso. So I joined Sony Music Publishing last year in June. But I think the negotiation started whilst I was still at Capasso, in fact, with the TikTok team. So basically,
Mm,
what this deal means, because at Capasso's also done something where, as I said, they deal with composers, authors, and publishers. So that's basically they deal with
mm,
songwriters, producers, and publishers, Capasso. And they collect a royalty. Both Samro and Capasso, they collect royalties for songwriters, composers, and publishers. Capasso deals with the mechanical royalty, which is the reproduction royalty, and Samro deals with what we call the performance royalty. So they did a joint license, much that they do with all the other any DSP, digital service provider, any digital service providing platform. So that includes Spotify, that's Apple, that's Deezer, that's in Nigeria, Boomplay, that's even the networks themselves. Anywhere where music is being used, you need a license. And the job of
mm,
Capasso and Sam was to make sure that these guys not only, otherwise you're infringing the copyright, you're infringing the rights of the rights holder because you don't have permission to sell their
mm.
music. So, so basically,
Yeah.
the thing with TikTok was that there's all this music. However, they didn't have a license. So Samro Capasso,
Mm,
the license was finalized, yes, a few days ago. So basically, what that means is that um, TikTok have paid a license to Samro and Capasso, and Samro and Capasso will still be collecting as time goes by. But it's based on usage of content now. So that means on TikTok, when you use actually two things. For me, it means that now as Africa, we need to start making sure that we're notifying these collection management organizations of our works because they can't collect royalties for things they don't know. It's so vital. So two things, metadata is important and notifying the CMO. So what happens is then once the
mm,
CMO gets the correct information, they will then now they can when your song is now used on TikTok and TikTok will report to Capasso and Samro. Then Capasso and Sam will be able to see, okay, this song was used so many times, so therefore this is the amount of money that is due to you. And so it's basically encouraging the usage.
mm.
So yeah, it's important to number one, notify. So you need to notify your collection management organization, whichever wherever you are. And number two, you need to start using more local. So it's a two sides because we want our
Mm,
local industry to benefit now. We need our local artists to really to earn revenue from the works they've done. So that means
yeah.
so it also is on the side of the creators also you have to be creative in terms of creating these challenges so people want to use your song. So and then people will use your song,
Yes.
you earn more money. So that's what the deal is. So
Yeah.
it just opens up it's a whole revenue stream that's now available for these guys.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That led me to something else that happened just a couple of weeks or so ago.
Uh-huh.
The Jerusalem song. Is that
Yes.
something along the lines?
So yeah, absolutely. So Jerusalem, we recently signed Non, who is the songwriter and the vocalist, the lady who sang on Jerusalem. So last year, I think the third quarter, we recently signed her to Sony Music Publishing. So yeah, so I think yeah. So I don't know what are you referring to how we're now collecting for everyone who used
Yeah, on everyone. Hey, you have to pay me my money.
So basically, so yeah, because a lot of people I saw there was a lot of calls, but basically what we're saying is that in publishing there's a thing called synchronization, sync deals, and it's basically the definition of a sync is when you put um, moving pictures with music. So that's why when you see a song in an advert, that's a synchronization deal, and the person who owns the rights is getting paid for that. And when you hear
Mhm.
music in TV, if you hear popular songs in a movie, to get permission to do that, a sync deal had to happen. So that means that they went to the rights holders got paid their money, and that's why you're using the song. So what we started doing as the publisher now, we're saying that we're not going after everyone who uses the song. It's not every single person, whether you're a normal, it's only brands that use the songs. And because any brand that was using the song, which was now even exposing the brand further, for us, we were like, that's a synchronization deal. Because as a brand, you would normally have to pay for that. But just because you know what I mean? So it's not every single person who uses the song. The normal person is just doing a challenge. Don't worry, we're not coming after you. We're only coming after those brands who know that if had they used the song, they would have had to pay a sync. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but like, that is the other thing. Do you think the brand were being, smart by like, because they know what they had to do, they just jumped on that train like, hey, everybody's doing it, so we can put it in look at a shoe or tomato ketchup or whatever it is with this song.
I think, well, I don't know whether they're being smart or no, but either way, ignorance isn't an excuse, So either way, whether it was intentional, whether it was by mistake, at the end of the day, you used someone's copyright without their permission, and because you are a brand and you are now using that for your advantage, for your brand is getting exposed further because of this, you must pay the rights holder. That's how things need to work. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, like, I love music. I do. Like, I'm always listening to music when I'm driving, when I'm writing. Like, if I'm not listening to music, I'm sleeping or like something. Like, I'm in a place where I can play music.
Okay.
So, how did you, like, there's a difference between doing the business of music and actually loving music itself. How did the love for music start for you?
I can confidently say I think I just always had a love for entertainment as like from a very young age, and I mean, music is actually what even helped me. Like even things like Sesame Street I was a big fan of Sesame Street when because they used music to teach. Music, it made it easier to learn things, and so I mean, music has always been in the blood. I mean, even from my parents also, they're both music lovers themselves. So those long drives and when my father's playing, although he'd be playing a lot of blues music, Eric Clapton, the likes of those people. But then, I mean, I just was always drawn to just music and that, where, I mean, even as a teenager in Zimbabwe, I know when I was nearing the end of school, in Zimbabwe, there was this event that was called HIFA, which was the Harare International Festival of Arts. And, I would make a plan. At some point, I used to volunteer and be there just to be in that space. Up until at some point, I was even now a stage manager, and I was even handling some of the stages. So I mean, it's always been there, and that's why I say music has just led me. God and music. Obviously, at university, I studied marketing and advertising, and when I finished university, just before I got my job at Putumayo, how that even happened. That's why I say music is what eats me. How it even happened was because when I couldn't find a job in Cape Town, I had a friend of mine. He'll till today is a friend. His name is Adam Metcalf, and he's a DJ, but he's a trance. He does trance music. And
I love trance.
You love trance?
I love trance. Like I have an unhealthy love for trance. It's crazy. So like I remember, like how people once they see you, they expect you to listen to a
certain
type of
thing.
music.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I remember this one time, my friend was like, send me some of the songs you like, right? And like then we hadn't exchanged pictures. So I sent it. And this person thought I was the whitest person they've seen in their life.
Because
I love trance so much. Oh my god, I love trance so much.
So you must look out for this guy. His name is Headspace.
Yeah,
and he's kind of he's a DJ, trance DJ, and he's a friend of mine. So
yeah,
it was actually him where I went to his place one day and I decided let me become a DJ. When I was in Cape Town, I realized that a lot of people weren't listening and. Initially, until today, I was a big dancehall fan, and I am till today.
Oh
But
my God.
hey, that's all.
You're
Come
killing
on,
me.
come on.
Munya, you're killing me, man.
So I said, let me
you
do
know,
this.
you know, people, so, okay, so there's a style of dance, and I'm guessing, daggering, right?
Definitely.
Exactly. So, it was in Cape Town, too. Like, everyone will be listening to house. There was this one club, I can't remember the name, but it was in Long Street.
Marvel.
Oh.
Was it Marvel?
Oh yes, Marvel. They play dancehall.
Thank you, thank you. I know exactly.
They play dancehall like crazy. And the funniest thing is that Marvel is tiny, right? Marvel is small.
At the end of Long Street. It's at the end even. It's the last thing. But that place on dancehall nights. Hi, come on, bro. So you know what I'm talking about, bro. Hey.
Exactly.
So that's exactly so that's actually it, because like there were so few places to listen to dancehall. So that's when I said, let me go into become a dancehall DJ. So I thought, let me speak to my friend who's experienced being even though he's a trance DJ. In my head, the principles of DJing is the same, So I hit him up. I went to his crib. He's showing me equipment. We're talking. We're catching up. And then randomly, his sister pulled through. And also, I know the sister as well because we all grew up together in Zimbabwe. And that's when she's the one who asked me. She said, Munya, what are you doing in Cape Town right now? And I shared with her, listen, I'm looking for work. And she was like, what did you study? And I said, marketing and advertising. That's just like, at my husband's work, they're looking for someone marketing. And at this point, I didn't know to put Tumayo on the record label. And so she called up her husband. Eventually, to cut a long story short, he called back and he said, listen, if Munya was keen, he must go to have a meeting with my boss on the next day, of which I did. And that's how I entered the industry. Then it was official that I'm now an industry person.
Wow.
So
what
that's the
story.
love. That's the love.
Story.
The love of music.
Yeah.
I love music. I even love music to the point now that I even don't, when it comes to illegal, I don't mess with any illegal sites when it comes to downloading illegal music, even movies. I extend it to movies. If I'd rather be patient and wait, I'm happy to pay to subscribe to Spotify or Apple or to pay for a caller tune. Unless you're the rights holder, don't even share music with me on my phone. I refuse to accept it.
That is the thing, though. The next thing, actually, you kind of just segued into something like, so you're working with Content Connect Africa, and
yes.
Doing all this, distribution and stuff and caller tunes and all.
Yes.
Did you see that Spotify was going to be big when things started? Because, back then there was still like Napster and LimeWire and all these things.
Yeah.
Did you see what Spotify was trying to do?
I think when Spotify started, but it wasn't available for us for quite some time. But I think we did understand it. It did make sense. And we were like, at least we were happy that, okay, we're understanding that the model is shifting and that people are going for accessibility more than ownership. People were happy to say, listen, I'd rather pay a fee and I'm happy to access 1 million songs rather than to say, I will pay you $100 and I get one CD and I own it forever. It's mine. So people started, we saw the shift and it made sense. And but I think still on the continent, it's still a very growing market. It's very much still a very growing market.
What do you think happened to people like Musica and I think Musica especially?
Yeah, Music is just shut down. So Musica, which is a CD outlet, I think was it last year they officially closed their doors. And I mean, I think it was a combination of COVID as well as the decline. But because, the truth of the matter is, I actually think it was COVID that was the real nail in the coffin, because music has been, in terms of, when I say music, I'm talking about physical CDs. Physical CD sales have definitely reduced a lot. In a lot of these places like Musica, you're finding a lot more games, for example, were now being, they were selling a lot more other stuff. Music wasn't as big as it was because of, as I'm saying, because of now these DSPs, digital service providers, who are now making it more easily accessible, to access music. Yeah. So rest in
what
peace.
do you think happened with LPs coming back. Like, where did that come from? Because
Yeah.
like every cool kid has a record player in their house now.
Because LPs, funny enough, it's so interesting, and I don't really have an answer as to why did they never really die. I think because LPs are kind of viewed as a real collector's item now when it comes to music. So there's a novelty about having an LP, which has always sort of remained, and I don't know whether it's just because of the size of it. I actually can't give you the science why, but there's just a novelty which people they're okay letting go of CDs. CDs they didn't really mind, but something about an LP. Maybe it's also because of the quality and the sound you get from an LP, because the sound from an LP is a lot more richer than you would get from other ways. But I think it's just the novelty of just having that CD. It looks nice when you pull out an LP. Hey,
it does, right?
Hey, it looks sexy. It just looks sexy.
The other thing, so I was thinking, people are like, the quality of music is great with the LP, and then there was this whole thing with what's Jay-Z's thing?
Tidal.
So there was this whole thing with Tidal coming. Like, what do you think Tidal didn't get right with their launch, and like people didn't really buy into it?
Tidal's interesting because out of all the digital online platforms, because I subscribe to most of them, Tidal has actually got some of the best curated shows in terms of than any of these other platforms. So whether it's Drinking Champs and all these, they have really great like shows and content there. And even in terms of discovery, as in I find Tidal is very good when it comes to like when I've listened to the recommendations of songs I should listen to after I've listened to a song. It's actually really good. I've discovered a lot of really cool music from it. I think Tidal just, I can only talk from an African's perspective. I think the thing is that I think they just didn't, when it comes to the marketing and promotions, I don't think they've done a great job in really explaining why I should go to Tidal than Spotify, or why I should do it over Apple. Whereas you see how Apple is a beast with it, as well as Spotify has also done very well with it. But I think it's because people understood the services, they understand the differences, Android, Apple, but Tidal was just in the middle, and it's in a limbo where anyone who's subscribed to any other platform will think, why should I've got Apple, I've got Spotify. I think Tidal, if anything, they just need to do a better job in terms of really marketing why Tidal is the one. As an outsider being able to access music, what are the other added value things that you can find on Tidal that you can't find anywhere? And Tidal has some great stuff. They really do.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that curation, because like Spotify's Discover Weekly can be so annoying.
It can be annoying. You'll even be thinking, what is this?
What would make you think I'll listen to this song? And like, my music taste is so wide. Like, I listen from country to death metal, right? So, everything. But like, they suggest songs. I'm like, what?
You think, what are you guys doing there?
You want to know something funny, right? I've been like listening to music, following music news all pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
I never knew what A&R stood for.
Don't worry, you're not the only one.
So like, I was like preparing for this. I'm like, okay, what the like, I didn't know. So essentially, it's artists and repertoire.
Yes,
and
sir.
like, you are responsible for finding the people. So correct. I guess in the publishing you're looking, this music is nice, and does Sony have publishing for it?
Yeah, so
and then you reach out to the person.
So so if I hear a good song, I'm not necessarily looking at the artist. I now need to find out who wrote that song and who produced that song. Because publishing deals with songwriters and producers. So my job is then to find out who wrote or who produced. If it's the artist who wrote it, then I want to talk to the artist. If I find out that there's another songwriter, I want to connect to that person. If there's a producer, I want to connect to them. So my job, as you said correctly, A&R is the artist. For the artists, that part is finding new talent. But in my case, I'm looking for the talent I'm finding is songwriters and producers. The repertoire.
Tell me these though. Yeah? Go on.
Oh yeah, no. And then I was going to say, and then the R for repertoire, that's dealing with catalog. So also my job is also to commercialize, to see how do we commercialize the catalog and music we already have, or or maybe that an artist might be bringing. In case maybe the producer is a veteran, they might have a catalog. So my job is also deal with the repertoire, the catalog, to commercialize it and monetize, basically. Yes,
Here's
sir.
one question though. Like I'm a producer or a writer or whatever, and I'm signed to X Publishing, right?
Okay.
Can I like now be signed to Sony, or how would that work? Like, is that something
You can't
like
have two publishers
do I
at
have
the
to
same
like
time.
end? And that's what I'm saying. Do I have to
Yeah.
end one contract and then start a
Yes.
new one?
You can't have two because it just gets messy if you do that. Your deal would either have to have expired, or you would have had to terminate it with your previous publisher. But if you have two publishers at the same time, then who's going to collect the royalties now? That's the problem.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Exactly. So there's another trend I kind of noticed where artists, like, I was that nerd that, when you had CDs, man, I read the label and I'll see all those names.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'll see, like, one thing that happened was that a lot of artists were getting their own publishing company. Like,
Correct.
is that something as a new artist I should do with, like, even with Spotify and all these things?
To be honest, if you've got the capacity to do the admin and the like, then absolutely go for it. But I think what I find is that a lot of artists, even though it says they did publishing, I've realized a lot of artists don't even understand what publishing is. Where, the thing is, some artists, I'm telling you, some people will say, I'm telling you till today, and I'm talking from artists or writers or producers who are starting to establish people. I have the same conversation when I talk to guys. Hey, yo, do you have publishing? A lot of them say, yes, I'm my own publisher, what. And then I say, okay, who do you do publishing through then? Then what they do is they mention digital distributors. They will say, yeah, I publish through CD Baby, I publish through TuneCore,
DistroKid,
Content Connect Africa, DistroKid, Africori, Electro Mode, whatever. And then I say, no, guys, you see, the confusion is the word publish, because publish means to make available. So people think when I say, have you got a publisher? You'll think, yes, I've made my stuff available through these aggregators. But so that's why even often in the liner notes, you'll see them say, I'm my own publisher. I just use a third party, but I'm the publisher. But no, you're not the publisher. You are not. And that's the thing that we need to, that's why, and I think it even goes into now where what inspired me to create, to start doing, changing Moti, which was man of the industry, which I used to call myself, into Moti, master of the industry, where the M stands for master, because I've seen the gap in education, and that is it's stunting the growth of our industry as a whole, the lack of knowledge and understanding. So yeah, that's even these are the conversations which made me just say, I'm going to do it myself now, because I can't wait for someone else, Yes. Sir.
Yeah, no, this is a right time to actually just jump into Moti itself.
Awesome.
I introduced you as the master of the industry, but you actually are starting this whole school. Let me just call it a school. Called Moti. Tell me more about Moti. Yeah.
Yeah. So Moti. So it's Moti Africa. I've created an online educational platform focusing on the music industry. Because as I've shared, there's a lot of our music industry is being stunted because people just don't understand the basics. We're still, and I can confidently, we're still at kindergarten level when it comes to understanding the basics of music. So, and also, as I said, even with my job, when I'm at Sony, it makes my job that much harder because, I have to do that much more work because I'm having to explain A, B, C, D. I'm every time in a meeting, I'm doing the basics. I'm having to talk about the basics.
I shouldn't be laughing, but that was funny.
But that's where I feel we are. That's why I said it's like we're still in the kindergarten where we don't understand the basics. We don't understand the different players. We don't understand, and there's nothing also that locally anyway. There's nothing that joins the dots that tells me that what is the most important thing? Building a brand. Music is also about building a brand. People forget about it. People concentrate on the music a lot, but you also need to focus on yourself, the brand. So that's important. I talk about I talk about also the team members. Who are the important members in a team that you need, and what are their roles? I talk about what do you do once you've written a song? You and a producer, you've done a song. What is the first thing you need to do? And I introduce split sheets to talk about the importance of split sheets and why they're so important. Once you have a split sheet, where does it go? I introduce the collection management organizations. So in SA, there's 5. There's SAMRO, Capasso, SAMPRA, RISA, and one called ECHO. So I go
How do you
into
choose
that.
which one to join, though?
So the truth is, 3 of them do different things. So
Okay.
Capasso and SAMRO deal with composers and songwriters. SAMPRA deals with record labels and performing artists. Then we have RISA and ECHO. So these 2 almost do the same thing. RISA and ECHO, they handle audio visual royalties. So they make sure, so audio visual is music videos and the like. They handle that. So there's different, everyone has their own, they have their own lane. So you actually need all of them. Well, you'll decide between ECHO and RISA, I guess. But the other 3, you need to have those in place. So I go into depth with that on the website. So I've also got some really great interviews with the key people, the COO of SAMRO there. The CEO of Capasso, the GM of SAMRO. I've just got some really key people. I've got interviews. And all of this. And then lastly is legal, the importance of legal. And what I want to do on my platform is to create templates, because I see legal is also an issue with artists. So create downloadable templates that anyone can use. If you're an artist and you want an artist-to-artist agreement or collaboration, you can come to the platform. And at this moment in time, all I've described, I'm putting it there for free because I've realized that the information is there. So there's no need for me to put a cost to it right now. The information that is there, all I'm doing is I'm helping draw a line so people can understand that, hey, this music business is a business. Because it's too easy to make music now. Anyone, I'm telling you this, people watch people every day on TV doing music videos. Someone today, I'm telling you, is looking at a Wizkid song and they'll watch Wizkid and they'll look at it and think, I can do that. And then what they do is that's what people think. I'm telling you, someone today is watching Wizkid, I think, what song is Essence with Thames. The new music video is about to drop. And someone will look at it and think, I can do what Wizkid's doing. And because it's so easy to download a program to make beats, you can get Fruity Loops. You get free to record a song. You don't even need an actual mic. You can use your headphones even. You just sing into the micro. You can sing into the headphone. You have your vocals done. In your head, you think, okay, next thing, I then put it out. I just put it out and I'm going to make millions. That's when people understand that this is a business. It's not as easy as Wizkid isn't an overnight. Actually, that's why I even call out some things I call industry lies. And one of the big ones for me is overnight success. That thing doesn't exist. Where there's no one who just downloaded the song and program today and puts out the song tomorrow and they become overnight success. The only reason it's an overnight success is because only you've heard of that person at this point in time. But most people.
Yes.
I've heard people tell me that Burna Boy is an overnight success. And can you believe? Yeah. But it's only because you've heard of Burna Boy since he dropped African Giant. But this guy's been doing the thing for years. But yeah, so I think with my platform, and right now, so the idea, it's all for free. I'm making all this video. I'm putting it in video content because another of these industry lies is creators don't like to read. I know they don't. But so I said, I'll make it in video format so that's easily understood and digestible, and it just gets the message across. So that's the plan, and obviously I'm going to build on the platform. There's some really great other functions on the platform. There's one called Ask a Moti, and by the way, even though I say I want to coin my name is going to be, I want to be called your favorite Moti, but ultimately I want everyone to own Moti. If you are someone who wants to be in the industry, you don't necessarily want to be an artist, but you want to see what other opportunities. That's where I want you to own Moti and to say, listen, I want to also be a Moti. You can stand with me and we learn together, and I'll help guide so that you also, because I need more business-minded people in this industry. That's what we need, who are passionate also about music. Because this industry is not about a job. It can't be a job for you to do this. I'm telling you. There has to be a deep passion, I feel. And
No,
Yeah,
and I think that is something that that shows whenever you talk about music, especially the business side. Like you're
uh-huh.
really passionate about it. It's almost
Yeah,
like these people are leaving money on the table, and you're like,
it's
"There's so
true.
much money left here that you have
That's what's
access to."
happening, bro. You've hit the nail on the head. My problem is right now, all of us could be making a lot more money within this industry if we do
Mm,
things properly. Currently, I'm confident to
mm,
say that there's millions of money that's not being collected because people aren't doing their
mm,
metadata correctly. They're not filling out metadata. They're not notifying the CMOs. So there's millions of royalties that are just floating because the CMOs don't know who to pay.
mm.
In actual fact, there was
Yeah.
a document that the CMOs called undoc. It's undocumented, where basically because they've got deals, they get at the CMO, they get notified by everyone whoever they've licensed. They give them raw reports of every single sale that's happened on the platform. So there's millions of data.
Mm,
So basically, what the CMOs, they go through it and they have to match with the mem to say, okay, yes, Munya's did a
mm,
song. He's notified us. Munya told us that he's got a song called Moti. Okay, we see Moti's played so many times. Okay, this is the amount allocated for him for songwriting and producing that song.
mm.
That's how it works. But if you don't notify, then the CMOs don't even know
Yeah.
who to collect and who to give the money to. So that you're very right. There's money that's just wasted. I want more money. That's why we're not seeing these deals that we see that are happening
Yeah.
internationally. You know, where we're seeing someone did a
Mm,
deal for, I think Kanye West just did the deal 30 million for whatever for doing this video. But we locally aren't seeing big ass deals like that because we haven't got our shit in order. And
mm,
until we do, we won't see big deals like that. I want to do a deal for $20 million to sign someone and say, yes, I signed this person for
mm,
$20 million and we're working. And because I know that I can get a return on investment on that 20 million, it's all good, because I understand. But
mm.
until we get those things right, we're gonna keep catching L's in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of else, there's this new thing happening, and
Uh-huh.
you are the right person, I think, to ask.
Okay.
So this guy, he was like with a record label before, and then the record label folded, and then he disappeared. I don't know, 6, 10 years, whatever. And then he
Yes.
came back last year or 2 years ago, and then started this company, Hypnosis or whatever.
Hey, we're talking about
And what
Mr.
they do
Merck.
is they literally just come and buy your catalog. What the
Yeah.
talk me to, like, what the fuck? What is happening there? Like, how are
So
they? How
yeah.
does that work?
So that's actually, and it's the new trend. As you're seeing that, that's why I say when they're buying catalog, it's almost like they're buying publishing, because that's why music is an asset. And that's one of the things that's why we need to shift our minds how we look at music, even though it's not tangible.
Mm,
It is an asset. It's an asset that if I make a song today, if I register it and I register that copyright, it becomes an asset
mm,
to the point where even if I pass away, my trust or my children can earn off the royalties still because the music will still be playing. The heirs,
mm.
whoever I sign as my heir or my trust, it's an asset. So music has value. So basically, it's almost like when I saw the moves that guy was doing, it shows that it's almost like there's a stock market because it's not a new thing to do this, by the way.
That is what is happening. That's what I was looking at. Is as like, and he's insane.
It's
He's
insane.
insane.
He's buying catalogs. I mean, and you've seen the amounts that he's been buying for 200
It's
million,
crazy.
300 million.
It's
This person,
crazy.
it's mad. But clearly,
I remember,
he's
like,
understood.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So, oh, no, yeah. So, yes?
No, like, I mean, they have too many artists, and they don't
Hey,
like. I don't think they ever buy partial catalog. Is everything.
they go
So,
for
like,
everything. They
what
go for the
happens then?
kill.
Like, exactly. So, like, I'm an artist. I sell my catalog. What does that mean? Like, does that mean they own my music now, or
So,
what is
yeah.
happening there?
So it's just the same. So that's why I said music is like an asset. And when it comes to the copyright, so if you sell it, it's like if you were building a house and you built a house. If you sell your house, then your house no longer belongs to you. You sold it. So
Oh
that means
boy.
you actually have so you're selling the assets. So what happens? That means is that the royalties that you would have got for the usage or whether the song is being played, whether someone is now wanting to do remixes and they want to pay, and those monies won't be going to you. It's going to be going to the new rights holder.
Holy shit. So this person, this guy is like thinking 10, 20 years ahead, right?
No,
It's
he's
like,
in the
I'll
future.
give you this 200 million now,
But he knows he's going to
moving
make it
forward, all the money that this music is going to make belongs to me.
I have to get a return on my investment. Simple.
Holy shit!
So it almost makes it look
That's
like
a lot of balls, though.
It's just no, but it looks like balls because I think we're still not too sure how he intends to commercialize it. But this guy clearly knows how he's going to commercialize, and he's going for certain catalogs. If you're seeing, he's going for a lot of the old school catalogs. So there's something. There's definitely something.
You know the one, I don't know if you watched the documentary with Dr. Dre and Jimmy. The Defiant Ones. Oh man, that was a great doc, right?
It was a beautiful piece of work.
I just know Jimmy, like, okay, he's this Interscope person. I didn't really know that he was a producer person. I didn't know he made music.
Yeah, I also was surprised.
But then I found out that Hypnosis Phone just bought his entire, like,
imagine
Jimmy. So you understand, like,
and you know how far back Jimmy? We're talking
exactly.
how far back.
Also, like, he has all this money he made from Apple, right? So it's not really like he can't be doing it for the money, right? Like, he has all this money. He's still working with Apple. So why is he like, okay, you Hypnosis guy, take this thing and go and make all, like, it's crazy.
I think maybe he got a deal he couldn't refuse, bro. At the end of the day, everybody's got a prize. I used to love wrestling, and there was a guy called $1 Million Man, and he always
Ted DiBiase,
and he said everybody's got a prize. Simple. That's you know what I'm talking about, bro. So they gave this guy a deal. They gave him a deal and a half, bro.
Holy smokes,
because that's millions,
man. So,
millions on millions. I think L.A. Reid also sold his catalog to them. I mean, we got big guys. We've got massive. L.A. Reid's catalog is Usher, and these guys, they have their hands in different. It's madness. Madness.
I mean, it's crazy.
But
crazy.
It's exciting.
I'm like,
what
the fuck is happening? But do you know what? When I knew that he got something right, was that I like I told you, I'm a music nerd. When I knew he got it right was that other phones start opening, doing the exact same thing, people,
people are
music is
following.
So big.
Hey.
Yeah, music is so big now, and like companies are consolidating. And like just the other day, this guy, Justin Bieber's manager, what's his name?
Scooter.
Yeah, he just sold his company to this South Korean company. I'm like,
yep.
Why we not, like things like that are not really happening on the continent, man.
Because we don't know yet, bro.
Is really important.
Amen, bro. That's the reason. That's why I keep on saying that. The reason is because I want to see those deals, but we can't do it until we get our basics in order. That's what Moti's all about. This is the shit. Know better, do better. Moti, simple.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm not even calling the creators anymore. Like at one point I was saying maybe the creators, we need a whole new set of people who are comfortable wanting to be in the space that I'm in, where it's the business side. We need they need to put their hands up and say, we will be accountable to make sure that we are so when the creators are hype in the studio, they've just made a song, they aren't even thinking about paperwork. We need one person who's business minded to say, okay guys, yes, this is cool, but before everyone goes, what are the splits that we've decided? Who did what? Are we okay? We split the song 50-50, and at least let's get it quick, fast. And that's actually one of the features I'm going to be introducing on the Moti. I've worked on a digital split sheet because I think maybe the problem with split sheets is that maybe the problem is we have to print it, you have to sign it, you then have to scan it. So I said, let's digitize it. So I've actually worked on doing a digital split sheet. So there and then you can just register, log on to the Moti platform, you put in who are the rights, you put in the names of the people, you say who wrote this, what is this percentage, and then you've got a split sheet. It emails it out to everyone. It's official, and you're not, so those are the things. I'm just trying to make it easier so people start understanding. But yeah, ultimately, we need someone in the room who starts thinking like the way I think and the way they think the business side of people think. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. Yeah, because like there's this website. Is I think the website is literally called Music Business. I
Yes,
live on that
Music Business
website.
Worldwide. Hey, Music Business
Yeah,
Worldwide.
worldwide. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the one.
I
Yes,
live on that
bro.
website. Like when you read, I was like, there's just the money is like stupid money.
It's
It's like
ridiculous.
it's like crazy money.
That's what I'm saying. There is so much money, guys. The money is
Yeah,
there
yeah,
within this industry, but we're just
yeah,
catching
yeah.
L's because we're not doing the A, B, and C still. The
Mm,
basics.
mm.
We need to get
Oh
that.
yeah. You know, it just hits me that I'm taking so
Uh-huh.
much of your time, and I know you have a meeting coming up, so we
No, no
have to do this
stress.
again. But I'm
Ah,
not gonna
for
let you
sure.
go without talking about Mbube.
Oh,
Um,
yes, sir.
and like how this young man from South Africa is like, okay, you guys, you have to pay. Like, why was it important for you to do that, and how did you set about doing that?
So, that story is a very heartbreaking story to me. And I actually learned about it only when I joined Capasso because the world of
Mm,
copyright didn't make sense. And I mean, if anyone is not familiar with the story, it's just to summarize quickly. So Mbube was the original song that was recorded in 1938, I think, by a gentleman by the name of Solomon Linda. And this man basically, this song turned into what we know today as Lion Sleeps Tonight. In the
mm.
jungle, that song that everyone knows, that has actually, from my understanding, the last time I heard this, that song has now made up to $60 million worldwide.
You
You know what I
before
mean?
you continue, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna add just a little salt to the wound. So I
Uh-huh.
was reading about this lady. She's from the Disney family, right?
Uh-huh.
Disney made money, but then they started losing a lot of money
Hmm.
until they made Lion King. So Marvel, Disney Plus, everything, like literally
Had it not
everything
been,
that has come has been Disney before Lion King and Disney after Lion King.
God, it was such a
And let's be
defining thing.
honest, it's that song. Is that song? That song is so powerful in the
It's
film.
powerful. That's how I can go $60 million. So the problem now that happened was that, from my understanding, Solomon Linda was number one. He wasn't compensated correctly, and then the royalties, as I explained earlier, music is an asset that you can even till today you can pass on to your relatives, your children, your heirs, or your trust, whatever you have. If you pass away,
Mm,
so now when Solomon Linda passed away in the late 60s, 1960s, the rule,
mm,
like everything, just nothing was done properly. The family never received anything, and it was really was terrible, to be honest. And I mean, if there's a documentary on Netflix called The Lion's Share, which it actually explains the whole story fully. It's a painful watch because at the end of it,
mm,
there's no happy ending for the family. In fact, you end up
mm,
learning that it gets deeper, where eventually there was a there's a I remind there was a legal team, there was a company, a legal firm that initially it seemed like they were the knights in shining armor to help the family, but then shady stuff also happened there. Now, when the legal team got Disney's attention, then the family were
mm,
very excluded from the talks. Then, obviously, now
mhm,
NDAs got signed, so the families could never really disclose. Um, like supposedly, part of the deal was that they Disney said that they must open a trust, and that's where the money would be getting sent to. The family never got access to the trust. They never knew how much was ever sent to the trust. And I mean, it's just a heartbreaking
mm,
story at the end of the day. And I mean, I think in total, the family walked away. And this is even from the documentary. The documentary says that I think they walked away with $250,000, after
wow.
all of this. And if you look at 60 million to
That might sound
250,
big, but that's like a grain of sand
I
in a
mean, if you compare
fucking
it to
beach.
60 million
Yeah,
dollars is a different figure. So, that
yeah.
that whole saga and story touched me to the point I was like, something really has to be done about this. And I mean, I think that's why I was like, let me, and that's where now I after watching the documentary, which very good, it made me very upset. That's when I said, you know what, my aim is to try and give the family a happy ending. You know,
Mm,
where I really want them to just give them the happy ending that they deserve because they've been cheated. And and
mm,
in the same breath, I said, let me not also try and dwell on the past. Let's talk about let's think about moving forward. How can we do things moving forward to fix things? Because the past is the
mm,
past. It's happened, and there's no point in trying to rehash it. So what I decided to do, and I mean, I did reach out to the family, the grandson of Solomon Linda, and because he's who I believe now they're restructuring the trust, where now the family is going to be part of the trust, and so I reached out to him, and I mean, they did give their blessing for me to go with to go ahead with this project. So what I did is, because the original song, which was done in 1938 or 36, I can't remember, that song was out of copyright. It was now in public domain. So copyright does have a lifespan. So things have copyright for a period of time, and then after a period of time, it's almost like the copyright expires, and then it's in public domain. And in public domain, all that means is that you don't necessarily have to go to the rights holder to get permission to sample or remix. So the original Mbube was out of copyright. So what I managed to do was I was blessed to find two great producers / DJs. One by the name of Cuba, the other one by the name of Boki Alt. So they came up with a whole beat for me, and I managed to get the legendary Mautela Queens. I mean, these are people who've been in the industry 50 years plus. And the fantastic thing about the project is I managed to get the original Queens. And I mean, I'm talking about people who are between the ages of 73 and 78. Because I think they can also relate. They're very familiar with the Solomon Linda story. And it was just such a really great, it was just a positive vibe. And they re-recorded, so we re-recorded the original Mbube. We did a re-record of it. And what I said I was going to do, and what should have been done, is back then, he should have got a much bigger percentage. But for this project, I allocated 45% of the copyright to the family. So the family can earn the royalties of this new version, which should have been done years ago. So they will be able to earn the royalties and the like of this new version of Mbube that we've put together. And it's been an exciting project. And you know, my plan is, I'm not done with it yet because I need to still shoot some music. It's just that COVID happened, so a lot of things happened that we did. So it's called Mbube 2020 because it was released last year during all the madness. Yeah. But Mbube 2020 is the name of the song. On YouTube, there's a lyric video we did, and that's all we've managed to do so far. But the plan is to do an actual music video. I want to look at doing remixes of it as well. So, and through this all, we're documenting. Because the idea is to put together a visual so that this can also be an educational source. It's like, it's two things. It's healing the industry, number one, because I think we need to heal as an industry. And by acknowledging a wrong was done, but let's try and fix it. And we're not going to fix it by trying to rehash the past. Let's let the new kids, we're the new kids on the block now. Let's have the new kids come up with new creative ways where we can heal. And number two is to educate. So people can understand, because so with this project, I've been through the journey of an artist. So I understand the challenges and the things you need to do in terms of the publishing, making sure that paperwork isn't done, making sure things are signed off on, making sure that now the next thing, but the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I want to document it, but I do. Next, we need to register the song at the CMOs properly. So I want to document that process of registering the songs. And just all these elements when we're now doing the remixes, and I pray that we can get some really big names behind it. Those negotiations, parts of those negotiations will be documented and shared so people can see, okay, if you're doing a remix, this is what happens. So it's about educating really. So that's just a passion project that I've been working on as well. And I really hope that it inspires and it just educates the industry to see that things that happened in 1938 are still happening till it's 2021, and yet the same things are happening. So it's almost like, guys, we do need to snap out of it. We need to wake up and understand. And I'm hoping that all these things I'm doing will educate and help people understand more.
No, man, Munya, this has been great. Like, I have too many questions. That's why I say you have to come back to this. So I'm not talking about Spotify. I'm not talking about Apple Music. I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm not, like, there are so many things we need to talk about. But I know you're a very busy person, and I know you have to leave. So first off, I'm super grateful. Thank you for giving me this much time, and thank you for sharing all this knowledge. And I can't wait to have you back, man.
No, I can't wait to come back. I really appreciate it. I thank you for reaching out. Thank you for having me here in the sanctuary. As I said before, at the end of the day, when we know better, we do better. So yeah, so this is
Mm.
let this be a call to action. Anyone who's interested in the industry, who doesn't want to be an artist, please. There's my website www.moti spelled moti africa.com. That's the website. All the information is there for free right now. All you need to do is register and you'll get access to it. I'm also going to be introducing what I call Moti Mondays, where I'm going to look at, I don't know what platform yet. I'm going to decide whether I'll do Instagram or even on Clubhouse even. But it'll be a direct
Ah.
engagement where people can ask questions and we can just, we
Mm.
need as much, I need as much information out as possible now. People need to learn so
Mm.
that we all do better. So
Mm.
yes, sir, I appreciate you at this time. Thank you. Thank you, Israel.
No, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nah, it's all good, bro. Anytime. So part two is coming. Don't worry. Part two, we'll be ready for it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Bless, bro. Bless.